Okay, so I'm going to bring up our presentation from last time. So these are our examples. Remember I showed you during the CAD Carpenter presentation of kind of what some final products may look like for our Wonder Self-Portrait. The part we're working on today is the face in the middle, but not the watercolor part. We're going to be working on kind of just doing the face shape and the hairstyle that's similar to ours. Now you might be thinking, Miss E, maybe like I don't usually draw people's hair. Well, that's okay. I have some examples that I'm going to pass out to you, and I'm also going to show up here. Yeah. Wow. So you guys are going to get a piece of paper, a half piece of paper that has the different hairstyles on it. And so this is why you have a pencil. Because we know Sharpie's permanent marker, you can't erase it. So on your piece of paper, you are first going to be drawing it in pencil, then going over it in Sharpie. Now, one thing that I want to note, the paper you're using is watercolor paper. What that means, it's like construction paper, but like 3 times the thickness, because when you use watercolor, you use water. And on normal paper, that could tear through or run through your paper, right? So with watercolor paper, it's really thick. So it might feel a little different than what you're used to, but you will get used to it. Should we be taking up the entire page with our Wonder Face? No. No, because I hope it goes fast. Okay. On the examples, you're going to be writing words around the head, right? Wait, right? No, Jack. I'm just saying, we want to make sure we leave room for it. So we want to make sure we are leaving room for the words around the head. So I would say, like if we look at the example in the middle here, see how there's a good amount of space on the top and the bottom and on the sides? But it's still a pretty good size, like, head for the self-portrait. That's what you're going for. So if I look at my piece of paper here, I probably will want my head maybe to be like this. Like up and down, so I still have space up here and down here. And then on the sides, maybe like this wide. So again, you still have space on the right and the left. Now that means, when you're drawing your head, so for example, if I thought my hair looks like this, when I'm drawing the face, that doesn't mean the face goes all the way out to here. It means the hair would need to go out here. Because you see how the hair goes out a little further than the face? So if you're someone who decides you're going to kind of draw like an oval for the face first, you're going to want to leave a little bit more on the sides if you have a hairstyle where it's going to kind of take up space on the left and the right. Does that make sense? A little bit? Okay. Mackenzie, what's your question? Yeah. I'm not sure which ones are working. Okay. So we're just starting in pencil first. So let's not even worry about the Sharpies just now. Richie, what's your question?
You calling it Sharpie?
Yes. So everyone's going to color in their hair with Sharpie. So even though I have blonde hair, I would color it in with a black Sharpie. We know Ozzy doesn't have black hair, but on the cover of Wonder, it's black, right? It's just black and white. So that's why we're going with the style. Exactly. See, everyone will be coloring in their hair with a Sharpie. You're just going to think about which style kind of fits your hairstyle. Okay, so if you have like curls, like curlier hair, you can see that this one kind of shows the curls. Braids. If you like to wear your hair in a ponytail, if you have hair that kind of sweeps in front for the side.
Right one, the top right one looks like Julia's sister.
Oh yeah, kind of. If you have more of like kind of shorter here and longer here, or here with a little bit of a sweep there, like over your hair in a bun. Yeah. So kind of think about if we're looking at this, to yourself, think about which one you might kind of use as inspiration. Just think to yourself which example you might use as inspiration. Layla, what's your question? Yeah. So let's say you're looking up here like Missy. I don't really think any of them fit me, then you can draw one that fits you more. These are just to help people who maybe don't have a starting point, okay? Yeah, so if you want to do a completely different hairstyle that fits yours better, do it. This is just to help you and kind of give you a starting point. Like maybe you kind of want to do this one, but maybe not as long. Or maybe your hair, it isn't like different lengths, so it needs to be more like straight across. You can do whatever fits your hairstyle. Are there questions? So, when I pass out the watercolor paper, you are making sure that your face and hair does not take up the entire paper. Because remember, we're writing words around the face. Do it in pencil first. Erase really well if you need to. And then we'll be going over it in Sharpie. Capiche? All right. Ready to rock? Ready to rock? One last note. Make sure you are choosing a hairstyle that fits what you normally have your hair as. Not like a once in a while kind of thing. How it is most days. We're gonna do a blonde. Mostly it's like, I'll do it like I do from hair. And then you start growing out. My hair Yep, I'm going to tell everyone to do that in just a second. Yeah, I know. I swear, if he doesn't do it, but my hair isn't anything like it. No, he won't. He won't. Remember, this is our Achievement Fair project. You guys always do a great job. My hair is awesome. You guys always do a great job, but just keep in mind, we will be presenting. Mine is only bad. No, mine actually no. You should do it. Mine has your hair is high. What's up? One more potato. Pause. Flip your paper onto the back side. Write your first and last name. But don't do it huge, because if you were to make a mistake on the front and maybe want to use the back, make it a little smaller. So write your first and last name on the back, then flip it back over and keep going. Start with your head and there. Just okay. Do it with a pencil, that way you can erase if you want to. Alright, so my distance learners, when you eventually get your watercolor paper, you are going to be completing this first step where we are just with a pencil first making the shape of your face and the hairstyle that you want.
Now notice, if your hair doesn't cover your ears, you should still be drawing the ears. You should make sure you're putting your name on the back of your art. Also notice that you should be leaving space around the head because we will be writing. Michael, why can I hear you so clearly from back here? So notice too that we are leaving space around the head so that we can put words that describe us around. So your face shouldn't take up the entire page, but it should still be large enough to where that's like the focal point. Because ultimately, we are going to be, at the end, this is what it's going to look like. So notice that we have the words around the head. So we're just kind of doing the outline first in pencil, then doing the Sharpie part with the hair and the face. Let me know if you have any questions.